everyone, it's Nicole here, the Harmonious Hippy. Today we're going to be doing some chair yoga. So chair yoga is really nice for if you have any injuries where a standard yoga practice is going to be a little bit too much for you. It's also really nice if you have any issues with balance or stability. So just grab a standard chair. You want to make sure that it is something that's relatively sturdy. If you want to put a pillow on the seat of the chair just to make it a little bit more comfortable, you can go ahead and do that. And otherwise, that's all you're going to need. It's going to be a relatively short practice today, just to get some movement and stretch out a little bit. Okay, so seated comfortably in your chair, feet flat on the ground. We are going to begin with the eyes closed. Your palms can be face down for grounding, or you can lift the palms up to bring in energy. You can also place one of the palms in the other. Rolling the shoulders up and back to open across the chest. Closing down the eyes. And just tuning into the body here. Feeling the weight of the body in the chair, the weight of the hands pressing down on the legs. The weight of the feet pressing into the ground. And just checking in with your body here, doing a quick body scan. So starting at the top of the head, not focusing on any one spot, but just slowly scanning down throughout the body. Just taking note of anywhere where you feel sensation, heaviness, lightness. Just evenly scanning down. We begin to complete the scan, coming down through the lower part of the body. Just beginning to tune into your breath. And as usual, just finding that anchor point. And this is just the place in the body where you most feel the breath. And just observing the breath here. Noticing if it's short or long. Take a couple of cleansing breaths here. So deep inhale through the nose. Suspend for a moment at the top and then opening the mouth, sigh out. I'll do this twice more. So inhale through the nose. Opening the mouth, exhale. And let this last one be your loudest breath yet. So inhaling deep into the belly through the nose and open the mouth, letting that go. We're going to begin with some neck stretching. So you can bring the arms down alongside of you. Depending on the shape of your chair, you might be able to wrap the fingers around and hold onto the edge of your chair here. We want to, again, roll the shoulders up and back to keep the chest nice and open. And we're just going to drop our right ear to our right shoulder. So making sure that you're not crunching up or bringing the elbow up to the ear. The elbow, goodness gracious, that would be crazy. The shoulder up to the ear. Just relaxing that down and starting to feel that stretch along the side of the neck. Making sure that you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You may feel a lot of sensation here, so you are welcome to stay here for your pose. If you would like, you can also bring up that right hand And without pulling or putting too much pressure, just placing the weight of that hand against the side of the head, feeling a little bit more of that extension in the side of that neck. Extending that arm down, maybe even extending it out to the side if that's comfortable. Releasing that left arm back down, releasing the right arm down, and then using the right hand to the side of the temple, just lifting the head back up to center. We're now going to drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, making sure that the shoulders stay down. Feeling that stretch along the side of the neck here. Again, if you would like, you can lift up that left hand and without pulling, just lightly placing it to the side of the head to extend farther into the neck. You can flutter the right fingers out. Breathing here. Releasing that right hand back down and releasing the left hand down. You can take the left palm to the temple and just lifting the head back up to center. Palms can come back to your lap. It's going to do a couple of neck rolls. So again, dropping the right ear to the right shoulder, making sure that these shoulders stay relaxed down. Slowly, slowly following your breath, you can begin to turn the gaze down and then beginning to roll the neck down, perhaps taking a minute at the center just to wiggle that out a little. And then completing your circle. We're just going to do half circles here. You can go all the way back if you'd like, but sometimes this can be a little bit much on the neck. So for today, we're just going to do half circles. So again, just flowing with your own breath, beginning to drop the head down. And just slowly rolling side to side. Just taking a couple more here. Making sure that you're still breathing. Completing your last roll here, and gently bringing the head back up to center. We are going to slide forward in our chair now so that we're sitting on the edge of the chair. Again, you want to make sure that you have a very stable chair so that your chair doesn't flip or anything like that. We are going to hold onto the legs here, and we're going to do some cat-cow variations while seated. So this is really good for waking up the spine and flowing with your breath. So on your inhale, you want to open your chest up, begin to arch the back, and slowly bringing the head back just to where it's comfortable. If this is hard on your neck, you can keep the gaze forward. Just rolling those shoulders back, opening through the chest. And inhaling here, dropping the belly out, not trying to hold that in. And then on your exhale, you're gonna hold onto your legs and begin to pull back, arching up into your upper back. And dropping the head, chin to chest, squeezing the belly in, releasing all of that air. And then inhale, arching back, dropping the belly. Gaze can come up or forward. Exhale, curling back. And just flowing with your own breath here. Waking up the spine. completing your last exhale, we're gonna move back fully into our seat again. And we are going to move into a lunge variation. So this is going to stretch the hip and the quad of the extended leg. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open, excuse this chair, it's very creaky. Really makes you feel good about yourself. We're gonna open our left, right, whichever leg feels good for you to start with, out to the side, and make sure that you're not sitting like this. You want it to be open enough that your knee is in line with your ankle joint, just as if you were actually doing the pose fully standing without a chair beneath you. And then we are going to keep our hips facing front. We're gonna move into a warrior two. So we're going to extend that leg and try and keep the outer corner of that foot strong into the ground and then extending up through that leg. And I can already feel this in my inner thigh and my groin. We're gonna extend the arms out to the side. I'm actually gonna shift myself a little bit back just so that it's mostly this bent thigh that's on the chair, but you can do whatever feels comfortable and stable for you. So extending the arms out to the side, you wanna roll the shoulders up and back. You can even flip the palms up, and that'll help roll the shoulders down, and then you can return them. You wanna make sure you're not hinging forward. You wanna tuck your pelvis, navel to spine, and gaze goes out over that front hand. Breathing here. And now we're going to extend back, making sure that when you place your hand on your back leg, you don't want it on the knee joint ever. So you can have it above or below. And we're just going to lift that arm up and just get a little bit of a back bend here. You can gaze up at your thumb, or if that's not comfortable on the neck, you can gaze forward or down. And then, excuse my cats, they've got the zoomies. Extending the arms out and releasing that down. We're now gonna swivel as if we're moving into a high lunge. So you can use your chair to help you. Lift up slightly. Again, you might wanna move back a little bit so it's just this thigh that's on the chair. And we've got our toes curled under here. Trying to tuck the pelvis as much as you can. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to do that when you're in a chair. But just feeling that extension through that quad here. You can stay holding onto your chair here, or you can lift the arms up. Gaze can come up if that's comfortable, maybe coming into a little bit of a back bend. And exhaling down and moving back around. Excuse me. So now we're face front with both knees bent. So this is somewhat of a goddess pose variation. The cats have the zooms real bad. So just opening through the groin here. We are going to make sure that our knees stay mostly over the ankle joints and pointing towards the toes. So if you need to bring that in a little bit, you can. You just want to make sure that the knees aren't sinking forward too much. So using a little bit of strength here to hold the legs open. We are going to extend one hand down the leg, inhaling the other hand up towards the sky. Again, gaze can be at the thumb or it can be forward or down. We're gonna sink down as if we're grabbing that ankle. If you can't quite reach that far, that's totally fine. You can also keep the hand bent up on your thigh. Just getting a bit of extension into this side body here. So breathing into those side ribs, extending open, feeling that stretch, and then inhaling back up. Now dropping down to the other side. Again, you can leave the elbow, the forearm on your upper thigh, or you can reach down to your ankle, raising that arm up, inhaling deeply and exhaling. Feeling that opening in the side body. You can leave the arm up like this. You can even reach it up overhead like this. Whatever feels comfortable. Coming back up. We're going to do that once more. So extending over. And inhaling back up and down. And coming back up, we are now going to keep this other leg open. Again, I want to move a little bit more this way. We are going to extend our opposite leg out, again, rooting through the outer edge of that foot and making sure that you are not like this, not like this. You want to be in line with your ankle and your knee joint. Hips stay open to the side, Opening the arms up into your warrior two, and the gaze can go over towards that front hand. Inhaling here, navel to spine, tilting that pelvis, and then exhaling, dropping that hand back, and coming into a little back bend here. This is exalted warrior. Inhaling back up, and again, using your chair, we're gonna swivel. I like to come back a little bit so that my knee is right in line here. Popping up onto those back toes, feeling that stretch in here. I'm really feeling this. You can also bend the knee slightly if that's more comfortable for you, or you can try to straighten. Again, trying to keep the belly in slightly. You can stay there, you can raise up your arms, and you can come into a tiny back bend if that's comfortable. And completing that, using the chair, coming back to center here. We're gonna keep the legs out wide like a goddess pose, and we are just going to inhale the arms up overhead, and exhaling down. Inhale up overhead, exhale down. Once more, inhaling up overhead, and exhaling down. We are going to bring the knees back in front, and we're going to start to bend the full body over the legs. So if you do have issues with balance, if you want to pull your chair up to a table and perhaps come over a table, anything like that, maybe you have some blocks that you can hold on to, anything to just make sure that you don't feel like you're going to topple out of your chair. You want to make sure that you're safe at all times here. So we're going to inhale up tall, and we're going to exhale, just hinging at the hip, beginning to drape the body over the legs. The hands can come down, letting the neck just fall. I find this a little bit hard on my gut here, so I'm actually going to open my legs a little bit wider so I have space for my stomach, so you can do that as well if you'd like. Just exhaling down, letting the arms hang, perhaps reaching for opposite elbows, and just letting the head hang down. You can rock side to side if that's comfortable. Nod the head yes and no. Just feeling the back release. And slowly, like you're a little rag doll, the head is the last thing to come up. Slowly coming up. And rolling the shoulders up and back. We're going to move into a figure four stretch. So this is really going to stretch the hips and the glutes. This is quite intense. If you can't quite come into the pose all the way with your foot on your knee, that's totally fine. If you want to just reach down for the foot and bring it as high up as you can while pressing the knee open, you can do that. You can bring a prop under you to place the heel on. You just want to get that external rotation of the hip. So slowly moving into this, make sure that you are always honoring your body, doing what's comfortable. You do not need to come into the exact shape that I'm taking. You just want to take what's comfortable for you. You don't want to cause any injury. So reaching down and grabbing that ankle, that foot, you can bring it up onto your upper thigh or your knee, or like I said, you can have a prop that's a little bit lower down if that's more comfortable for you. You want to keep the toes flexed back to protect the knee. And you want to think of opening your knee out. So this is seated figure four. This is quite nice for people that sit in a chair all day. So you can rock a little, and this one's really easy to do at your desk if you do have a desk job, just to release those hips and glutes. And if this is comfortable for you, you can stay here, or if you would like to come further, again, stability is very important. So if you want to come over a desk or something like that, you can do that as well. Or you can just start to lean over that leg, and that really starts to work into that hip. Again, keeping that toe nice and flexed and active. And trying to make sure that you keep both hips even. You don't want to be up like this or over too far. You want to try and keep both hips planted as you come forward. So you want to come forward evenly instead of trying to lean away from the pressure. So just come to where is comfortable for you. You do want to have that feeling of the stretch, working into that hip flexor and your glute, but definitely nothing that's going to be painful or hard to stay in. So sending your breath into that hip there, And just breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. And when that starts to feel very intense and like you want to come out, challenge yourself to stay for at least 2 more full breaths. It's always in those moments where you want to exit the pose where you can find the most growth, unless of course you're feeling something pulling or anything that's a bad feeling, then definitely come right out. But if it's just that intensity and that uncomfortableness, stay for a little bit longer. Emotions might come up. Hip stretches are very intense for some people. I hold a lot of emotion in my hips, so I find that I get angry if I hold a hip opener for too long. But just let whatever comes up, come up. We're gonna take 2 more full breaths here. To come up. You can release that leg down, opening the thighs just a little bit. You can hold on to the back of your chair, the sides of your chair, and just do a little bit of a twist, rocking those knees in. Perhaps this is the hardest your chair has ever worked, at least that's what it's making it sound like. I know I've eaten a lot of snacks in quarantine, but give me a break. And coming back to center, bringing those heels back in, feet planted flat on the ground. We're gonna repeat this on the other side. So if you used a prop, you can bring that to the other side and just grabbing on for that leg, bringing it up, flexing through that foot to keep the knee safe. You can put a little bit of gentle pressure on the knee here just to try and open that hip a little bit more, but nothing too strong. You just wanna have this gravity helping for the most part. So both sides will feel different. You'll potentially notice on this side that my knee is quite a bit higher. This is a very strongly wound hip for me. So there's nothing wrong with that. Most people are a little bit offset on the flexibility of their hips and their hamstrings even of each leg. It sort of depends on what your dominant side is. So just recognizing where you are and knowing that that is exactly where you're meant to be. Not being hard on yourself here at all. This is purely for your own health of your body. And inhaling up high. You can stay here if you'd like, or you can start to fold over that leg. Again, you can come to a tabletop if that's there for you. I like to use my elbow a little bit here to help twist that knee out to the side, but this is quite an intense side for me, so I don't come too far into this one. Breathing deeply. Remember not to hold your breath. And just noticing what feels different from one side to the other. Maybe you feel an immediate rush of emotions on this side that you didn't feel on the other side. Maybe this side is a lot easier for you than the other side. Just observing whatever does come up without judgment. And just sending that breath into the hip, into the glute. I feel a little bit of a stretch even up into the back here, the side of my back. That is quite intense. We're going to stay for 2 more deep breaths in through the nose. Slowly coming back up, releasing that leg. Again, you can open the knees slightly, twist a little side to side. Give your chair its workout. And coming back to center, we are going to come into a twist now. Being very careful with your neck. If you do have issues with that, just making sure that you're not trying to use your head to twist you. You want to be twisting from the spine always. So we are going to bring our right hand across to our opposite knee thigh area, and using the back of your chair with your left hand, you can inhale, grow nice and tall, create some space here, and then with your exhale you can begin to twist. The gaze can start to come to look over that back shoulder, tucking the chin slightly to protect the neck. But again, making sure that you're not using the neck to twist here. Inhales, create space. And exhales, let you twist a little bit deeper perhaps. Breathing deeply into the belly here, feeling the spine wringing out. Twists are very good for digestion and spinal health. And inhaling the head back to center, followed by the body. You can wiggle yourself around a little bit, replace yourself, and now taking that left hand across to the opposite knee. The hand comes behind. You can inhale, grow tall. And exhale, begin to twist, tucking the chin slightly. Gaze towards that back shoulder. While you are using the strength of your hand to twist you a little bit, try to make sure that your shoulder is not crunched up and you're not having too much tightness in the upper body. You want to roll that down and just kind of use the general pressure of that hand to help twist you open. So again, inhales always create space, grow a little bit taller. And exhale, twisting. Deep breaths into the belly. And inhale the head back to center, followed by the body. We are going to do one last pose before we come into our seated meditation, Shavasana pose. This one is going to be a bit of a half happy baby. So depending on your flexibility, this may not be comfortable for you. You may find that it's easier or more comfortable for you to just reach for the knee. Again, you can wiggle here to figure out what's most comfortable, pulling the knee up to the body. If you can reach for the ankle or the foot, in a happy baby on the floor, you're grabbing onto the ankles or the feet and pulling the knees open down towards your armpits. So think of opening that knee to the side. Again, you can hold onto your chair for support. Maybe you're beside a table. Just pulling that knee. You can also be reaching for just the shin here and just pulling that knee open towards your armpit. Again, if this isn't accessible for you, you can just be pulling the knee in or just pulling it straight up towards you. This is still a really good compression on the stomach area. So just pulling that open, opening that hip, and extending that back down. We're going to come into the other side. So maybe you just pull the knee up here. Perhaps you open it to the side. Maybe you reach for your ankle, shin, foot, and pull that into your armpit. Breathe in here. And releasing that back down. Now, finding a comfortable spot where you can lean back in your chair, but you don't want to be leaning back in a way that's going to crunch into your lower back. You do want to keep the back mostly extended, but just getting comfortable here, perhaps bringing one palm into the other. Rolling the shoulders up and back to open across the chest. And closing down the eyes here. Feet are flat on the ground, feeling the stability of the earth beneath you, the stability of the chair. And just observing what's moving in your body now that you've done this practice. Perhaps you feel a little bit more open. energized. Maybe you feel some sensation, maybe some tingling or buzzing in the body. Maybe you're sitting here feeling like you failed or like you didn't do enough. You weren't flexible enough. Just knowing that wherever you are in your own personal journey on this earth is exactly where you are meant to be. Everyone is at different places in their lives. Everyone's at different places with their flexibility, with their movement. So just know that you are exactly where you need to be. Thanking yourself as well for taking time out of your day to do something that is just for you, just for your wellness. Honoring your body. Everything you did was perfect. Everything you did was enough. You are perfect. You are enough. And you are so worthy of feeling good, happy, loved, held. We can bring our hands up to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Pressing the thumbs into the sternum, perhaps feeling the heartbeat. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can just place the hands flat on the chest over your heart, feeling that steady rhythm there. And just slightly bowing the head down, taking a moment to feel gratitude for your body, where it's at, what it's done for you over the past, what it still is doing for you to this day. And on your next inhale, sending love to a place in your body that you would normally send judgment. And just knowing, at least in this moment, that you are a whole and perfect being. And you don't need to change in any way. A moment to feel gratitude for yourself, for taking time out of your day for you to do something that is good for you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. The light in me acknowledges, honors, and bows to the light in you. Namaste. So much for joining me for this gentle chair practice today. I would love it if you would like this video, comment on the video, let me know if there are any other things that you would like to see from me, and I would be happy to chat with you there. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more from me. You can hit that bell icon when you subscribe, and then you'll be notified every time I post a new video. I always post a video every Saturday, and occasionally I will post a bonus video throughout the week. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Namaste.